Hi everyone, Mark here. And just before we start, I would like to urge you to head over to my Skool page. It's a brand new guitar tutorial page which features all the best kind of features from Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, all in the one platform. There's sections here you can ask about theory and technique, and there's a section where you guys can upload all your videos so I can see your performances and what you've been working on. So it's just a big platform where everything's self-contained within the one really useful area. It's free to sign up, and I'll leave the link in the description for you. But today I want to talk about something that's kind of been frustrating me for the last 5-10 years or so, and that's like what guitar licks have turned into, what guitar licks used to be, and what guitar licks are, or what is considered now guitar licks. You see all these people with like these picking courses or legato courses, and they say here's lick number one, and then it's just a big flurry of notes for like 16 bars, and you're like, that's not a guitar lick. Like, that is not what constitutes a guitar lick. A solo in itself is not a lick. A 16 bar non-repeated phrase that covers the entire fretboard is not a lick. A lick should be, in my eyes anyway, like back in the old days, where a lick was something that was just short, quick, like a punchline, like straight to the point, something that was repeatable, something that you could take over different keys very, very easily, something you could take on a different strings very, very easily, something that you could start a solo with, something you could throw in the middle of a solo, or something you could end a solo with. And they didn't need to be any more than 4 or 6 notes long. And when you combine these short licks together, you can end up with quite complicated sounding, bigger, longer licks, obviously. But not non-repeating linear kind of scale runs with sweep picking and stuff in the middle of them. Like those are not licks. So again, like just like all my other videos, this is just kind of straight to the point, and I don't script anything, and I don't even work anything out before I play. So I'm going to flick over to this camera here, and I'm just going to talk through 4 or 5 things what I think kind of constitute guitar licks. You can steal these and fire them into your own playing, but I think these are like good grounding licks that every guitar player should have under their belt, and they should be able to play them kind of well and kind of clean, because they really do build the foundation for other more complicated licks to be built on top of them with other areas of technique. So the first lick is just this wee A minor 7 arpeggio. So that lick is just 14, 13, 12, and then that 15 nearly bent up to 17, back to 12, 15 on the B, back to 12, 13 just bent slightly out of tune, and finishing on that 14th. And the good thing about this kind of wee lick, I mean, you can start a solo with that, you can end a solo with that, you can chuck it in the middle of a solo. But the thing about these licks is you can take any kind of part of them and then start just kind of messing with it. All the notes don't need to be in sequence. So you can tweak it and change it and really hit it and do your own thing with it. Way more than you could with someone's 16 bar line, which would take you forever to get down. This lick you'll have within 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll be doing your own thing with it within 15 and 20 minutes. Another wee kind of cheeky lick, I'm going to keep these basic, the kind of pentatonic, is this wee guy. Just that. And there's so much you can do with that. Like that really kind of strengthens up left and right hand coordination. Really builds up pull offs, and it's really good for timing as well. Getting those 16th notes in time and in sync. So you can combine that with lick number 1. Move it to a different position of the pentatonic scale. Pull it down, end it there. You can move on to different string groups. So again, it's one of those licks that's really short, quick, easy, punchy, but you can instantly do your own thing with it. You can stretch this out. So I've got 15, 12, stretched it at 17. So that's your own. There's another lick built off of that one. Stick it in a blues scale. Another kind of variation on that is this is another cool wee lick that you hear a lot of, maybe Gary Moore or Thin Lizzy, but guys from that era play as a kind of triplet A version of that. So that's 15, 12 on the high E string, going down to the 15th on the B. That's your first triplet. And then the next triplet is 12 on the high E, going down 15, 12 on the B. And I'm picking the first note and the B string. Pull off, pick the high E string, pick the B string, then pull off. And you can move that into different positions. And again, that's one of those ones that you can really build a lot of speed on. You can build a lot of other licks on top of that. So you can take it up the neck, you can take it down the neck, you can take it over the strings. It really becomes one of those licks that you get to decide what you want to do with it, which is the whole point of these things. Another kind of cliched, old kind of 70s lick that I think needs to be brought back. In fact, maybe it doesn't. But is this old kind of bluesy lick. You hear Sat trying to do this one all the time. Bend optional, you don't need that bend in there. I'll do it without the bend first. So that's a kind of 14 on the G, up to the 12, and then 15, 12, on that B string. And the way I'm playing this is I'm going to pick the G string with the pick the high E string on the 12th fret with the middle finger, and I'm not going to pick the B string at all. I'm just going to hammer this pinky and pull off. And again, you can change that top note. Bit messy, but again, it's one of those old style licks that is good for a flurry of notes that you can throw in the middle of a solo and then combine with the other licks to maybe come out of that and go back into an ending. I should have warmed up before I started playing. But you get the idea, you can chuck that in somewhere. And I think just to kind of finish off here, these ones have been kind of pentatonic based, but here's one that's a kind of 3 note per string based lick that you can really steal and do your own thing with. Is just that thing there. So it's 15 on the B string, 12 on the high E, 14, 15 on the high E, pull off and repeat. I'm just doing 2 downs, 2 down picks. And you can do a million different things with that. If you use your imagination, you can stretch that right out. You can take on the different strings. Got my way out of focus here. So again, move on to different string groups. Put on the blues scale. So this is just a wee really quick video here about simplifying guitar licks down to something where you can take the building blocks of these dead short 4 or 5 note licks and then build your own things with them. Hopefully you'll play them a lot less sloppily than I did today. But it shows you that your imagination and what you do with a very short amount of, or a very small piece of information can go a long way. If you only know 2 or 3 positions of the pentatonic scale, taking something as simple as I mean, that's just that triplet A lick, but you've went from here to here and you've descended it through the strings. You could do the same thing. You could do the same thing ascending through the strings if you know shapes and stuff. But that's one small piece of information that you can make something really big and overly complicated out of. And I think those are the things that are going to be really easy to integrate into your playing. Instead of me giving you like a 16-bar solo that's full of legato and tapping and speed picking and then saying that is a lick, I don't think that would translate into your own playing as easy as saying, well, here's 4 or 5 notes. Here's what you can do with them. but leave it up to you to work out what works best for you. Are you going to pick it? Are you going to left hand it? Are you going to do more bends with them and all that? So there's more freedom for you to take those notes and then do your own thing with them. Aye. So I hope there's some nuggets of information in there that you can take and steal. I'm going to urge you again to head over to the Skool page, link in the description there. If you could head over there and sign up for free, it'd be really good to get some insight into what you guys actually want to see, what you guys would prefer lessons on, what you guys would like to show me. Like I say, there's tabs there, there's certain categories within the site for certain questions, and there's even a section for you guys to upload stuff. Because on a format like YouTube, I'm just kind of guessing. I'm saying, well, I'd like to make a video on licks, I'd like to make a video on string bending, I'd like to make a video on something. But again, it's really hard to kind of second guess what an audience wants. Whereas on a platform like Skool, you can basically just chat directly to me. You can upload your videos asking questions. You can upload your videos saying, I'm struggling with this, here's a thing, and then I can help you directly back. So it kind of takes out all this kind of second guessing middleman stuff. But anyway, it'd be good to see you over there. I'm going to sign off now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.